Holy shit, we're gonna do an intro in the middle of the street. That's how bad I feel for keeping y'all like gone for so long. I didn't even give y'all an update of when I was gonna come back. So I thought it'd be right to not only drop the Bummy Sex tutorial, but also drop the beard sculpt. We're gonna drop the beard sculpt, which is actually, I was thinking like I'm dropping the course. You know, there's a lot of great content I got on the course too. But this one was so great. I was like, you know what? It's on the course. I want to give them something for free. I want to give them some value. So you guys are gonna go ahead and get one of the videos. It's not the exact video, but this beard sculpt, very barred up. I did use a semi-permanent dye enhancement. It was like one of the first times I ever used it. So you guys are gonna get a little treat on that as well. Go get used to this, all right? I don't think I'll be this nice like that, but just enjoy this shit. What is good, y'all? We are back again with another beard sculpt. This one is on my barbering course. I'm gonna drop very soon. More details to come on that. This is gonna be a shorter version. The actual full tutorial is like somewhere around 50 minutes or so. Very in-depth. Go very in-depth on exactly what I'm doing. So this is gonna be like a little bit shorter, very condensed version of it. As you know, it's like a 10-minute video. So I don't think anybody on YouTube would really watch a 50-minute video on a beard. But here we go. Nonetheless, first things first. You always want to start combing out the beard. I always love using a wooden comb over anything like plastic, just because plastic always kind of builds up more static in the hair follicles, and you know, it's just never good for that reason. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start with just a simple ass taper. He doesn't want anything too low. He kind of wants to keep it a little nice and high and a little bit stretched out. So I'm gonna kind of keep it around that ear area. I'm gonna take down that beard, going with the grain, kind of fading it out with the 1.5, and then work that taper in right above that as well. Now, when I kind of do a taper like this, I like to work my way up into the baldness. It's not working down, because I don't want to push or make too much of the cheek hair too short. If anything, I'll blend and shade and kind of pick out those little darker areas to make sure everything blends in. But I don't want to push that blend down, because if anything too low on the cheek area, it's gonna look real awkward and bare almost. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start lining up behind his neckline. And when I go ahead and do this, it's a little bit of an awkward area to work around. Like, you got the ear right there. Sometimes you have like the jaw structure is a little awkward. So you know, I definitely do like to take my time. And then I'm gonna just set in that bottom line. Now, for my client Rob, he wanted a beard kind of like that Spartan look, like where it's like shorter on the cheeks and a little bit more thicker on the chin area. So I'm not gonna take up that line on the neckline too far, really just kind of cleaning it up. And then after that, I'm just gonna make sure everything kind of lays down real nicely on the cheeks. This is a 2-guard going with the grain. As you guys, if you have seen my videos before on YouTube, which if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel already, please subscribe, and as well as don't forget to follow me on Instagram for daily content. The same thing as my YouTube channel Deluxe. But I just go with the 2-guard to lay it down. That's really like what I love to do with any beard, especially my beard too. You know, it keeps it dark, keeps the hair nice and thick. But it also takes down all that kind of stray hairs that poke out. And same thing around the mustache area too. I always want to take that down, but I usually go a little bit shorter with a 1-guard, and that really takes it down. Now, this right here is a very key blade that is my ES3 blade that I put onto my Slimline Pros. I'm sure I don't have any tutorials on how to switch that up. I know I always get questions on that. I'm sure if you guys go ahead and just like look up on YouTube channel somewhere how to fix that up, you guys can go ahead and find that out. I don't have, like I said, I don't have any tutorials on that as of yet. And then go ahead and start lining them up. I always like going from like that cheek area closer to mouth and working my way up to the ear. I just feel like I have a better swoop and a better angle on the curve for the beard, as opposed to if I was going to work my way down. Then of course I always want to go ahead and apply like a little bit of lubricant or a shaving gel to the cheek before I go ahead and whip out my straight razor on him. This is just because, you know, some clients, they have too dry of skin, and it creates less irritation and pull from the blade, and from there I just take it a little bit by little bit. I really just focus on one little area of the blade, and not the full blade onto the cheek or the skin. When you're focusing on like the full blade laying on the skin, I don't know, you cut off too much than what you would want to. I always like to focus on like that very first like little centimeter point on the blade, and I feel like I can get way more precision Now on the other side, it's really just the same steps. Now the only thing that I will say is always use like keys, and this is something that I also said inside the course, and I'll go over that in a little bit too. But basically, like I always like to like take like certain areas of the face, like the ears, like the markings on the ears. You know, you have like that little mid mark, and keeping track of like where I make my lines or where I start my tapers at, and where my transition lines are at on both sides of the head, because you know, working on both sides of the head, you can sometimes get lost. You know, sometimes you're just like, fuck, where'd I put this shit at? But if I have a little marking on the ear or like a little curve on the ear, and I know both sides, you know, are pretty much evened out, I can always use that as a reference point to make my line or make my transition, or know that's where my transition is supposed to be put in at. So like I've been talking about this online barbering course, you know, when I drop the social media online barbering course, which is up and live, you guys can go ahead and enroll in that if you're looking to gain more social media followers, to turn those into more clients, to then turn that into more money made in your pocket each week, as well as upping your prices. I did get a lot of people asking about, well, what about a barbering course? I'm trying to up my skills. I'm trying to improve on cutting hair. And I was like, wow, that wasn't something I was actually thinking about. You know, I knew there was courses out like that, but it just wasn't something I thought that was needed from me. But because there were so many people that wanted something like that out there, more in depth than I'd go in on my YouTube. Of course, I kind of bullshit sometimes on YouTube. I kind of talk a lot, talk about different topics, but that will be available for you guys very, very soon. On one of these videos, I'll drop the link and you guys will see that, but it's just not out right now. It's not the finished product that I want to be able to put out to you guys, but this will be one of the videos on there. One thing I will say about like all this, and especially like when I go in like around that cheek, you know, one thing that I've noticed, especially when making the course and having to get into like a different mindset of just like, all right, doing the steps and understanding how to like really in depth make somebody that doesn't know how to cut hair understand it better. The best way I can put like doing any type of haircut, and this is like my little 3-point technique of lining up, and that will be explained a little bit more inside the course, but really is having an end goal. You know, I think videos and YouTube is great for online education and learning steps, but you still have to have an end goal, an end vision of what you want your product to look like at the end. Before you even start doing a haircut. You know, I can't just go into a haircut and just start doing steps and be like, well, whatever the fuck happens is gonna happen, and hope for the best. You really have to have an idea of what you want the outcome to look like, and what you want exactly to you know, the fade to fit on the head, the lineup, how crispy it is. And if you hold that vision in your head and you're not gonna allow yourself to stop the haircut or move on to the next step until you achieve that goal that you have in your mind, or having your vision, you're gonna be very, very impressed. You're gonna see a lot of growth in your skills, and that's where I saw a lot of growth in my skills is when I started like just stop trying to go through steps and like hope for the best, and well, hopefully this one comes out better than the last one, and really just being able to go in with an end goal in mind, and just putting that out on my model, like literally just putting that vision I have in my head and putting that on my model's head, and not being satisfied until I get that result. Now, this is like a little bit of a facial service too. This is I think I just did like a beard wash on him. Very relaxing with a hot towel. This is a service that I do add on. I charge extra money for as well. And as well, I also shave underneath the neck. I think, you know, for me, I rather prefer shaving on somebody's neck rather than using like a foil shaver. I think I can get a lot more of the hairs like cut down, and I think it's more soothing for the client. But of course, you know, I charge more for this service because it does take me more time, and I think as barbers, you know, if something takes you a little more time, you should definitely charge a little more. If something is a little more your expertise, you should definitely charge more or add that on as an extra service. Now, this is a beard sculpt, so after I get done with everything, if you guys noticed before, I didn't really sculpt the beard like freehanded. I always go over it freehanded, but I didn't do it beforehand because I knew I was going to go in with that hot towel. When I place the hot towel on, it's going to loosen up the hair, kind of relax everything. Of course, I did a little beard wash, which you guys didn't see in this video, but afterwards, I go ahead and blow dry it, make sure all the hair is kind of evened out, and then I go in with my clippers and start to create the shape. And when I get to the desired shape that I want, I go in with my shears, as you see right now, and just kind of refine it, like clean up the edges, like round it off a little bit, make sure all the stray hairs you know, are more put in place. I have more precision when I use the shears rather than like the clippers. And then here we go with my boy Jesse Elite's dye. This is actually something that I've actually just started using a lot more of. More than I do hair fibers. I don't even think I really use hair fibers because this dye and using the air compressor has become such a game changer. The dye lasts anywhere from like 2 to 4 days. It goes on real nice. It doesn't look too unnatural. You can make it look really unnatural, but you have to just be able to finesse it in there, not spray too much. And if you do spray too much on, just take a brush and brush it off, or take a towel and wipe it off, because you know when it's still wet, you can take a lot of it off. But when it dries, you know, it'll be on there for a good while. So make sure you guys just are careful with that. And afterwards, I do add a little oil sheen to the end product and go over that beard one last time before I finish this off, just because you always want to make sure he's in perfect place, all the hairs are laying down perfectly. And that is the very end of this beard sculpt. Like I said, there is a full 15-minute tutorial on the course. I will let you guys know when that happens. Please, if you like this video, felt that this was helpful, like and subscribe to this channel for more content. Like I said, I'm back on YouTube. We're gonna keep this shit going. Make sure you guys also follow me on Instagram at Deluxe. Other than that, I will see you guys next week on Deluxe Sundays. We out, baby.